flag's up the right way, mate, because I know which way it's supposed to be up. In this video, we are going to talk about our Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, a disgrace of a woman. It is important that we are able to talk about these things freely in the UK because very soon we will not have the opportunity to do so, especially if the Islamophobia laws come into place. And firstly, for those of you who don't live in the UK, a lot of Americans, Australians watch this channel. This woman here is our Home Secretary, born in the UK, of Pakistani origin. I think that's pretty obvious, by the way. I'm not a racist man, but if you want to call me racist, I will sit here and tell you that I'm racist. Couldn't care less, mate. It means nothing to us anymore. Nothing. We are the most tolerant nation you can find. Have a listen to some of her words then.
ऋषि सुनक सरासर झूठे बोलिया से जितना तोरी लेबर पार्टी ने टैक्सेशन ने प्लान से ना इनकम टैक्स की वदासा ना नेशनल इंश्योरेंस की ना VAT की.
Do you notice anything there, mate? Just out of interest, you notice anything there? This is a Muslim woman as our Home Secretary in charge of law, order, protecting the country, and you see nothing wrong with that at all. You see nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Let's get into her speech then. I think you will see something different now, mate. I am unrepentant on this before we go on. This is a Muslim telling Christians what will happen to them in their own land. This is the truth. This is okay. So the way I look at it, right, and I'll be honest with you right now, because I'm an honest kind of guy, right? I'm trying to live a Christian life as best I possibly can. All I'm saying is, right now, people will say, "Oh, Tim, it's only the Home Secretary is a Muslim, innit?" What if the entire government were Muslims? Would that not affect you at all? How far do you want it to go, mate? There are about 40 permanent secretaries in the UK that, in effect, they run the government. They do all sorts of things. What if they were Muslim? Now, people will say you're being racist. Muslim isn't a race, mate. What I'm saying is I live in a Christian land. Let's listen to this woman now.
I am a patriot, proudly so. Mine is the patriotism of Orwell, pride in a country that is forever changing, while also ineffably always the same. Patriotism, a force for good, is turning into something smaller, something more like ethno-nationalism, which struggles to accept that someone who looks like me and has a faith like mine can truly be English or British.
She can't be English.
Because the truth is,
can't be English.
Across this country, people feel like things are spinning out of control. And without control, we simply do not have the conditions in which our country can be open, tolerant, and generous.
How much more tolerant do you want us to be? About 7% of the UK, about 4 million people here are Muslims. Our Home Secretary is a Muslim. And I'll tell you what, 21% of our prison population are Muslims. 3 times as many as in our population are in prison as Muslims. How much more tolerant do you want us to be, mate? And of course, she can't be ethnically English. It's a thing they throw out there to kind of try and say, hey, we're all the same, by the way, we're all the same. Allow Muslims in all areas of government, you'll be absolutely fine. We know it's not true. Never in the history of the world ever has that actually been true. Let's look down here. Shabana Mahmood, born 1980 in Birmingham, the daughter of Zubaydah and Mahmood Ahmed. The parents are of Pakistani descent, roots in, so she can be British, she's born here, but her heritage, her ethnicity is Pakistani. That is just a fact. You cannot change that. But some people do not understand this. This is a form of political violence instigated by hostile public rhetoric directed at a group or an individual. Unlike incitement to terrorism, stochastic terrorism is accomplished with indirect, vague or coded language, which grants the instigator plausible deniability for any associated violence. We're seeing this coming out of the government en masse. We're seeing it come out of government supporters as well. That guy's like myself. That's why I lost a job from it. All sorts of things. We're going to have a look a bit further, guys. So whilst we go down this ethnic journey, which a lot of people are getting confused over, I'm half Welsh and I'm half English because my father was Welsh, my mother was English. I was born in England. I'm British. We can say I'm British. I've got a British passport. But am I English? No, I'm half English. And this is important. Is Shabana Mahmood English? No, not at all. So when she says she's English, this language she's using is that form of terrorism being used against the people. And that's being done by our Home Secretary, who is a Muslim woman, and she knows exactly what she's doing, by the way. Now, this chap here, Aman Bogle, says, I'm not English, I'm a proud British Indian. Nothing wrong with this, mate, nothing wrong with it. And the thing about it is, the way I look at it, right, is if I say I'm English, right, or if I was to say I'm English, and then anyone could say they're English, it basically what happens is an ethnocide. You may not have heard that term before, an ethnocide. Very similar to genocide, but we're not intentionally eradicating the population. You're eradicating their culture, their ancestry, their ethnicity. And that's what's happening in the UK right now. It's an ethnocide. And you need to start thinking about it, because if you don't start thinking about it now, it will be too late. I keep saying this, guys. Your responsibility is to, not to you, it's to your children. If you don't do it now, your children will suffer. Let's have a look at some flags. And here's a Home Secretary who does understand. Suella Braverman, I'm not English. I'm a proud British Asian. I'm grateful for everything this country has given my family. I love England, British people. I mean, what a lovely person. That's what I'm talking about. Not someone who's got Pakistani parents standing up there telling the world that they're English. It's fundamentally not true. And as Harry from the Lotus Eaters makes a point here, the English are white Anglo-Saxons, not brown Muslims. There's no lies here. Don't forget the Celts. Fine, you know what I mean? Huguenots, whatever it might be, Jutes, whatever makes up, a bit of Viking somewhere, I guess, Angles. It all goes back. But for the last 1,000 years, we have been inherently a white race up until about 1950, when the first minority people came into this country, paid, by the way, to help us rebuild after the Second World War. This is Mike Tapp, not the sharpest crayon in the packet, I would say. Look, ready for the PM's big speech. Labour MP, of course, lots of flags. That flag's upside down, Mike. The one on my wall over here, which was given to me from a warship that I served on in the Royal Navy when I did 5 years service, followed by 15 in the Royal Air Force. That flag's up the right way, mate, because I know which way it's supposed to be up. And if you're curious about it, mate, it's the white bit here. That white bit, I'll put an arrow on it now. That white bit should be uppermost, not like this, but like this, with that bit close to the pole on the left-hand side there. That bit's got to be uppermost, basically, like on my flag. Like the white bit there, white uppermost, because whites are uppermost, because it was a white... we are white indigenous UK population. It's just a fact. I just deal in facts. I don't deal in feelings, deal in facts. That is the truth. For the last 1,000 years, mate, that's exactly what it was. There's no ethno-nationalism here. There is patriotism, but there's also facts. That's all I'm talking about. You think about sharing this video with someone, because it will get taken down eventually. People will not be able to tolerate this kind of language when we start getting more Muslims into our government and we have Islamophobia laws in. Why do they want to make Islamophobia laws? Because they do not want people to talk about Islam. It's a degenerate ideology, mate. It has no reason for that ever to be in the UK. Now, before we finish, and we're going to end with just a teacher talking about the English flag and how racist it is, and I just want to leave you with that. Listen to these couple of Muslims just talking about what Islam is doing to the West.
Any Islamist will tell you that America is the enemy of Islam. They're chanting death to America every single day. I did it for 7 years, every single day.
Muslim leaders always spoke about non-Muslim countries as the enemy, and Muslim preachers always spoke about them as the enemy. And the goal of Islam is to either convert them or destroy them. And this is really basic.
And I'm just trying to wake you up to what's going to happen. History states what happens when we allow Islam into a country at the volume that we're allowing into it. This is not Islamic jet performance. This is fast jet performance. I want to make videos about my motorcycle journey, about my flight school, that I teach people what I did in the Air Force. I don't want to be talking about Islam, but I do not want this country going that way. We are a Christian nation. It's not actually the Islamic, it's not the Muslims I have an issue with, because I don't mind. I taught Muslims to fly airplanes, great people, don't get me wrong. It's the ideology of Islam that I'm warning about here. And here's the thing, the biggest danger in this country is not Muslims, it's not ideology, it's not the Home Secretary, it's left, liberal leaning men and women who are subverting your children in an official capacity. Have a look at this, mate. You won't believe this now. Right, this is audio of a teacher then explaining to her students what is wrong with the English flag. I can't believe it's an English school. This school's in England, right? I can't understand how this is even possible. This is audio that someone's recorded. This teacher actually attends counter protests. Let me play it for you right now. It won't last very long. 30 seconds max, guys.
Something that is really important to mention, because it is something that I hear quite a lot. We are not saying that the England flag is an inherently racist symbol. However, for some people, it is currently being used as a way to make migrants, refugees and asylum seekers feel unwelcome. So we've seen the rise of lots and lots of these flags all around Manchester and all around the UK, particularly in areas where asylum-seeking hotels have been present. So we've seen the rise of this in Parkinson. In fact, there is a very similar looking set of lampposts that look like this. And again, we aren't saying that this is an inherently racist symbol. However, unfortunately for some people, it has been used to do that. An example of this I'm going to show you in a moment is from a process that I attended in Fallowfield.
Right, that is one of the problems with the indoctrination of our children. Let me just leave you with this picture from the Labour conference. Daddy, what did you do during the Islamic takeover of England? I avoided being called Islamophobic. Loser. And this here, look at the flags they're waving. Are those British flags? No, a lot of English flags there. They're trying to take back the flag. They know they've got a problem. They're not getting in again. Because inherently these people hate you. They hate England. They hate Scotland, Wales and Ireland. It's like kryptonite to them. The English flag is kryptonite. The Union flag is the only one that want to do up there. That's all it is, because they're globalist, guys. And in the next video, I'm going to tell you why me, you, all of us are the enemy of this government. Now, I'm not saying, we can talk about subversion, but I'm not saying we do anything in a physical sense. It's not about that. I'm not labelling me as an enemy. It's Keir Starmer that is labelling me as an enemy. And we need to start thinking very quickly about what we're going to do about this. Tim Davies, Fast Jet Performance.